I was born in Des Moines, Iowa because my dad's journey story brought him to Des Moines. And my dad's grandpa, actually my dad's dad, so my grandpa, he was trained by the CIA to be an Army recruiter during the Vietnam War. And when the Vietnam War ended, my grandpa, along with just so many other Hmong people, fled. And they knew that if they stayed in Laos that they would be persecuted and murdered. So some were able to escape into Thailand, which was the only way to get to America or other countries. And some went into the jungles, and that's where my grandpa went. You know, I was born here, but they put me in ELL. And even though I would say English is my native language, it wasn't enough for them to not put me into ELL. And I didn't understand why I was in ELL until high school and realized, like, man, I had to do school and class this way, which is the reason why I was at a second grade reading level in 5th grade. In middle school, it became even harder because in elementary school, there were hundreds of us, like hundreds of a whole bunch of us who were like, okay, we look different, we're not white. And then in middle school, I was 2 of maybe 6 kids of color in middle school. And that was strange. And people knew that. And people would say, well, this is my Asian friend. This is my Asian friend. Or they would make it really aware that, like, oh, you're like 1 of 2 Asians in this school. 1 of 3 Asians in this school. And then in high school, it was so different because it was like the most diverse school. But it was hard growing up, you know, and being Asian, but also not feeling Asian enough because I didn't know Hmong enough. But then it was also like, oh, I'm also not white. So it makes me this weird banana, you know, yellow on the outside, white on the inside. And even though I appeared and am Asian, I didn't feel Asian enough. That's what it was like in school, or being asked if I was an international student, because there weren't kids like me who were born in America. We all must have like come internationally to study high school, which is what our high school did. And I remember, like, I'm a senior, I've been in this school for 4 years, and someone would be like, oh, we had a bunch of Japanese kids who are coming to our school, so are you one of them? I believe we live in a world that does not want us to lean into the intersections, in a world that doesn't want us to believe in the duality of things, and you have to choose one thing over the other. Every time we fucking choose one thing over the other, we are sacrificing everything that we believe in, and we're sacrificing the things that make us like who we are. It makes us human, and that's the world that we live in, and that's America, is that you can't have dualities that exist. And so I feel like for me, I lost a lot of that as a kid because I didn't understand what it meant to be Hmong, because they didn't teach it in Iowa. I never understood what it meant to be Hmong. And then in high school, we're covering the Vietnam War, so I'm gonna hear about Hmong people because that's why I'm here. And they didn't teach it. There wasn't even a mention of Hmong people. And I think that was when I was like, huh, so I can't be proud to be Hmong, because if I am, no one's gonna know me anyway. Oh my God. I love art. I'm a singer, I'm a performer, I'm a songwriter. But my parents were always like, girl, you better not sing. You better go to school and be a doctor or be a lawyer or be a pharmacist. We can't have any artists in this household. And so I learned how to sing because I was going to church. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm not the best visual artist, but I appreciate the ability and the healing power that art has. And I think now my mom and dad are starting to see, okay, that's what it means to appreciate the arts. This is what it means. Art isn't just a waste of time, but it's a way to make money, but also a way to heal. And that has been the most important thing for me, is just to remind my mom and dad, healing comes in all forms, and art is the best way for healing. And now that they see that I'm a much healthier person, they're starting to recognize and equate art with health, art with healing. And that's what I want more people to see, that you don't always need things like medication or things like drugs or alcohol or sex. You can just make art. And art can be anything from singing to cooking to writing to filming. Like, it's anything. I had no idea that I would do this right now, that I would get here, because I'm executive director of Art Force Iowa. And I was like, okay, 17, I wanted to be an executive director of an arts organization because I had a lot of mentors who were executive directors. I really love working with the refugee community because that makes me feel like I'm a part of my own community. I love everything from, having 12-hour days to being able to just like hang out with kids and let kids know, like, I'm not judging you because I got my own shit that stinks. And that's okay. Like, how can we be in that together? And how can we support each other and come back to the art and come back to just like humanizing one another? So I love being an executive director of this organization.